What's good? It's your boy CzxxTentacion, all rights reserved. What we're going to discuss, shout the commenter, regional Cobain. That's a very good point, sir. Here's what we got to talk about. Is this an airtight conviction on these men? Is it airtight? Are there all parts of evidence identified and enough to the level to put these men away? Shout to the peaceful attorney. Everybody give respect to what she got going on right now. She wasn't feeling well yesterday and things, but I'm going to try and reach out to her. This is a very good point she has brought up many times about whether it's actually an airtight alibi or an airtight conviction on either way, either stance. That is of great concern, because if this is not airtight, basically, these guys are going to slide by. This is going to be a situation where they wasted the time and the money. And it wouldn't be these guys' fault. It would be how the investigation was handled. Remember, I have multiple videos discussing the many faults and flaws in the investigation technique and where they chose to go first and how they chose to do it. You want to know what it reminded me? Their investigation reminded me of kids on a field trip. That you're just riding along and you know where you're going. You know what you got to do when you get there, but you're just along for the ride. And there's like a few people trying to lead you the right way so the right stuff happens in the way they need it to. And you're just kind of tagging along. All the investigators seem to be tagging along, just there for the ride. We already know they didn't put forth the energy to go get the men that they wanted. We knew they called on other people to assist with that. So what did you really do? Oh, you magically found some evidence in Michael Boatwright's grandma's car. How does that happen? How does that happen? You magically find some evidence. You had to look good somehow. You couldn't let it go all to the federal. You had to look good statewide somehow. Oh, we found crucial evidence here. Then you requested DNA. Well, let's not speculate or think of what you were going to do with that. Listen, I think the picture spells itself out very clearly. I think we all know that they don't have an airtight case. If you examine what they're asking for, when they're asking for it, the way they're asking for it, the way they're trying to use the video as proof when all the men's faces are covered up except when two men walk into the video, you're not showing anyone exit the video. Wonder why. They don't have an airtight case, and that's the problem. That's the problem. That you're being paid to do your research and investigation this way in a homicide investigation that's high profile, I might add. And these are the type of conclusions you come up with. I could have had a 15-year-old that studied and knew what he was doing, have went on the case and made the same decisions you made. It's almost like you're grown children playing detective in the city, because then I see some other cases where the first thing you do is ask the public for help. Are you serious? Who's doing the footwork? That's the question. Who's over there doing the footwork, gathering evidence? That's the question. So the second day, you need to reach out to the public for help because you couldn't take the time to actually see what's going on before you ran to lunch. Is that what happened? Because it seems like the people who get that freedom to investigate these things use a lot of their time to chill with each other and then go to lunch for hours, allegedly. Now, I'm just telling you guys what I understand to have happened. And we don't want to say names of officers because I don't know if it's just him and I don't know if it's all of them. So I'm going to just keep it very generic. That you did that instead of standing there investigating that scene to figure out who murdered someone. Now, here's my thing too, and this is the problem. We seen like a photo of the backs of two alleged forensic scientists that were on the scene actually gathering evidence. Why And here's what I don't get. Why didn't you take that manager into custody to interrogate him and speak to him? Not only was he taking the pulse wrong, he took the pulse wrong with his thumb. But these guys ran to the car and like had him outside the car on his body. Like they were touching on his body. Everybody knows when a murder happens, you get called 911. You don't go out there trying to pull him out and revive. What was he trying to revive? And I'm asking you guys, because you got to tell me, since you don't want to pick up no one at Riva, since you just question them and walk away, since we act like people who said they witnessed it all isn't there anymore. Tell me, what would you not ask this manager that allegedly... Did you even ask if he knew how to resuscitate someone? You guys should ask this question. And now people want to hate me because I'm asking it like, oh, that guy doing investigation. Oh, because I'm doing what you should have learned to do. And you could keep the paycheck. Just know you're a slob. That's all. I just want you to know that you failed us. You failed his fans. You failed Broward County. This is a major failure on your career. And you think an indictment is going to save your career in the aspect of the public. But I'm here to remind you it's not. That's what my job is. That's what I'm on the job for. I'm here to remind you it's not. And that regardless if any of these men are indicted, you failed, because if your captain or someone tried to approach me and say, oh, you don't, I'd prove that you were wrong. That you investigated the wrong thing. That you came to the wrong conclusions. And then I could show them how it's done. A normal guy off the street, me, can show them how it's done compared to you 10 years on the job, 15 years on, 20 years on the job. That is why I say that this is a family business when you look at that thing. Because these guys missed all types of clues, all types of evidence. I mean, you missed the dude screaming on social media, he did it. Like, it's like, what? It was the Twilight Zone for me. It was the Twilight Zone for me. Screaming he did it. And no type of investigation on him. But you run off trying to catch 4 men like you're in a race. And then 3 weeks later, you come back saying you found evidence in one of those suspects' grandma's car that is in Florida, when you caught these men way different places. Who's patting them on the back? Who? Either, here's one of two things, because I got to stay objective. Either that was on purpose, and y'all did that to try and throw something else off. Or you guys are the worst investigators in all of the United States. I mean, listen, you could look at every single state, and I have most of them. Even if they don't catch someone right away, they do an investigation and it's thorough. This is the only time I heard something this stupid being done. That's part of why I wanted to talk about it. It's the only time of any story or any case that I've read and something this dumb was done during a murder investigation. Only time. So you guys are special. It's okay. You are a special force that wants to make sure every dime's on their check. That wants to make sure that all their accolades are handed. But then when they're doing things like this, wasting taxpayer money in Florida, and a bunch of men dancing on social media, bragging about it, get passed up. And they run and chase down other men that have nothing to do with the situation. Nothing to do with any type of conclusion to what evidence points to. I can only believe so many things. There's only certain things I can give credit to. There's only certain conclusions I can make on your character. I'm really sorry to Cleo and her family. I'm really sorry, guys. But even if these men get indicted, you never got true justice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. And, here's the thing. There will be someone who comes along and makes sure that you guys eventually get the justice you deserve. But it's not going to be Broward County. It's not. These guys are so far off base and so far off of what is actually happening around them that it looks like connections between an alleged witness and the alleged situation are clouding the actual justification and justice for him. It really does. From the evidence that I've recently pulled, I'm pulling random motives from witnesses. Like random motives. If these men that did it, their only motive was money, they could have extorted him for that. They could have done many things for that. They would get $50,000 in his car. Someone would get it in just to rob. That doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Because he's worth millions. So you extort this person, allegedly, if you would do it to really gain money for their worth and say, we'll protect you or something. They had nothing to gain for just 50 racks. It was nothing to gain. Sorry. It was, that's like pennies to hundreds. It doesn't make sense. I still can't put that together. I still don't see how that's an exact motive to exactly what happened. It makes no sense. And these guys are so dumb, they're making this the conclusion because they just want it to be over. They don't really care. You can see it in the case. You don't really care. If you really cared, you would have held every single person that was around for questioning. But nope, you question them on the spot, let them go. Question them on the spot, let them go. And they claimed you did in our argument. I'm really sorry to Cleo and her family that you have investigations like this happening for someone you care about. It's sad, but you know what? It's only prominent that we're going to see this type of effect in the future because people really don't care. It doesn't matter if they're authority or what. They care about the paycheck. Allegedly in this situation. Is that true? If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong then. All rights reserved.